Right, friends, welcome back to 10th week question and answer session. This is the first part and let us move on to the first question. Ola Cabs recently purchased a taxi for shore. Now lot of firms are entering into this taxi services. Meru Cabs, taxi for shore, Ola Cabs. In addition to these firms, Uber, that is the multinational company based in United States of America, because to withstand its marketing strategy, almost all the taxi companies are going towards heavy discounts, and it is the best time for the customers as far as taxi service is concerned, because this Ola, taxi for shore, or Uber are giving lot of discounts to enter or to capture the market in India. So let us come back to the question. Ola Cabs recently purchased a taxi for shore for an approximate amount of rupees 1200 crore. For an approximate amount of rupees 1200 crore, and Uber is the multinational taxi service based in United States of America. Its presence is there in several countries. To withstand the competition from Uber, now this Ola, taxi for shore, or Meru are adopting various market strategies, and this Ola Cabs was started by Bhavish Agarwal and Ankit Bhati. Taxi for shore, Aprameya Radhakrishna and Raghunandan. And let us go to the second question. Who made the comment? Pakistan separatists and militants are responsible for the smooth conduct of elections in Jammu and Kashmir. This comment was made by none other than the Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mufti Mohammad Sayeed, who belongs to People's Democratic Party. Please remember, now the coalition government of PDP and BJP is in power in Jammu and Kashmir, but the views of both the political parties, People's Democratic Party and the Bharatiya Janata Party, are diametrically opposite. So it is to be seen how long this government will sustain with such type of diametrically opposite views. Right? Look into the next question. Which of the following results in more subsidy burden for Government of India? I would like to tell once again about subsidies. Subsidies comes under consumption expenditure, not for producing any assets. For any growing economy, consumption expenditure should be as minimum as possible. But in a country like India, where at least 20 to 30% of the population are still below poverty line, I am not giving exact figure because various surveys give different figures for the people below poverty line in India. That's why I am not giving any exact figure, but at least 20 to 30% of the population in the country at present are below poverty line, and some subsidies from the government are required to take care of these people. So subsidies cannot be phased out altogether. But there are several non-merit subsidies. That means subsidies reaching the persons who do not deserve them. We have to curtail those type of subsidies. So reducing the subsidies is the utmost need of the government so as to reduce the consumption expenditure. Remember, the subsidies at present constitute 2% of gross domestic product. And by 2019-20, government wants to bring the subsidies down to 1% of GDP. But let us come back to the question. Which of the following results in more subsidy burden for Government of India? At present, food subsidy is the maximum subsidy burden for the Government of India out of total subsidies of 2,60,000 crores. Food subsidy constitutes 1,15,000 crores, followed by fertilizer subsidy and petroleum product subsidy. More subsidy in fertilizers is going for urea, there is subsidy element for LPG and kerosene when it comes to petroleum products. Please remember, petrol and diesel are market driven. At present, there is no subsidy on petrol and diesel. Petrol was made market driven in the year 2010 and diesel was made market driven in the year 2014. So, there is no subsidy on diesel and petrol at present, but there is subsidy in LPG as well as kerosene when it comes to petroleum products. So, having learned these things, I would like to once again remind you, at present, subsidies constitute 2% of GDP. Government wants to bring the subsidy bill to 1% of GDP by 2019-20. Let us go to the next question. Former Prime Minister and opposition leader of Nepal, Baburam Bhattarai, he is the leader of Communist Party in Nepal. Baburam Bhattarai recently visited India. His visit raised speculation whether he is seeking advice from Government of India with regard to the preparation of constitution in Nepal, because Nepal is unable to decide the features of their constitution, that is held up. So, in this context, the visit of the opposition leader of Nepal, Baburam Bhattarai, assumed significance. Please don't forget, the Prime Minister of Nepal is Sushil Koirala. Right, look into the next question. Major fire recently destroyed several documents. The fire occurred in All India Institute of Medical Sciences. Why I decided to introduce this question is, there were some allegations of corruption in All India Institute of Medical Sciences. Vigilance is probing into those allegations. In this connection, sudden fire incident and gutting of some records assumed significance. Please remember, the answer here is All India Institute of Medical Sciences in Delhi. Right? Recently, former Communications Minister Dayanidhi Maran and his brother Kalanithi Maran appeared before a special court and sought bail in connection with Aircel-Maxis case. Aircel-Maxis case. Maxis company belongs to Malaysia. Aircel, telecom company in India, made an allegation that they were coerced, they were pressurized to sell 74% of stake to Maxis of Malaysia, and in turn Maxis invested around 742 crore rupees in Sun Network owned by Kalanithi Maran. In this connection, there was a complaint from Aircel owner Sivashankaran, and CBI is now investigating into this case. And recently, former Communications Minister Dayanidhi Maran and his brother Kalanithi Maran appeared before the special court and sought bail in this connection. So remember, Aircel is Indian telecom company, Maxis belongs to Malaysia. Aircel was pressurized to sell shares to Maxis, and in turn Maxis invested in the company owned by Kalanithi Maran, that is the Sun Network, when Mr. Dayanidhi Maran was the telecommunication minister in Government of India. This is about this Aircel-Maxis case. Let us move on to the next question. Baldevbhal Sharma appointed as the new chairman of National Book Trust. National Book Trust was established in the year 1957 to promote writings in various Indian languages. Its present chairman, A. Sethumadhavan from Kerala. A. Sethumadhavan, popularly known as Sethu, is from Kerala. He has a leftist ideology. He was replaced 6 to 7 months before his actual tenure ends, and in his place Baldevbhal Sharma was appointed. Mr. Baldevbhal Sharma was associated with RSS mouthpiece Panchjanya. He was the editor of Panchjanya, RSS magazine, and there is discussion in the political circles when Mr. A. Setumadhavan's tenure was cut short by 6 to 7 months. Remember, Mr. Baldevbhal Sharma recently appointed as the chairman of National Book Trust. Right friends, look into the next question. Which of the following recently unveiled Lumia 640 and Lumia 640 XL series? These two phones were unveiled by Microsoft. Please remember, as far as this smartphone market is concerned, the leading players are Samsung and Apple. Microsoft is unable to get the market share as far as this smartphones are concerned. Right? Look into the next one. Cess on coal is credited to NCEF. Please remember, in the budget speech, cess on coal was increased from rupees 100 to rupees 200, and this will be credited to National Clean Energy Fund. National Clean Energy Fund, which will be used to fund renewable energy projects. Please remember, cess on coal was increased from rupees 100 to rupees 200 as announced in the budget. This will be credited to National Clean Energy Fund, and the proceeds of this National Clean Energy Fund will be used to fund renewable energy projects. Let us move on to the next question. HP is the Hewlett Packard, whose headquarters are at Palo Alto in United States of America, established in the year 1939, recently said that it will buy Wi-Fi network of Aruba Networks. It will purchase Wi-Fi network of Aruba Networks for a value of $2.7 billion. Please don't forget, the Hewlett Packard is going to purchase Wi-Fi network of Aruba for $2.7 billion. Please look into the next question. 4,089 crore Visinjam port. This Visinjam port is coming up near Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala. Visinjam port is coming up near Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala. Please don't forget Vallarpadam Transshipment Terminal, which is coming up near Kochi in Kerala. These two things, please don't forget. These two things are coming up in the west coast in Kerala. This is Visinjam port near Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala, whereas Vallarpadam Transshipment Terminal, that is coming up near Kochi in Kerala. Please move on to the next question. During the Foreign Secretary's SAARC Yatra, land boundary agreement and Teesta River, these were discussed with. Recently, Foreign Secretary started SAARC Yatra. He started his itinerary with Thimphu in Bhutan, and land boundary agreement and Teesta River water dispute, these two are with Bangladesh. We have already discussed there is land boundary dispute with Bangladesh because some of the pockets are in India, some of the pockets are in Bangladesh. Now, recently the Prime Minister stated that the land boundary agreement will be signed between India and Bangladesh, and the other dispute with Bangladesh is with regard to Teesta River water. Teesta River passes through Sikkim. This is the boundary between Sikkim and West Bengal for substantial portion, and finally it flows into Brahmaputra River, and there is river water sharing dispute between India and Bangladesh. Right? Look into the next question. 28th session of United Nations Human Rights Council. 28th session of United Nations Human Rights Council was recently held at Geneva. Please remember, there is an issue with regard to the violation of human rights in Sri Lanka, and the new government in Sri Lanka sought 6 months extension to present its point of view. Actually, the United Nations report on human rights violation in Sri Lanka is supposed to be submitted in this summit in March, but based on the request of Sri Lanka government, this was postponed by 6 months. Please remember, when civil war was going on in Sri Lanka, northern part of Sri Lanka, civil war between Sri Lankan army and LTTE forces, there were allegations of violations of human rights in the northern part of Sri Lanka, and now United Nations Human Rights Council is looking into these aspects, and 6 months more time was given, and now United Nations Human Rights Council will submit a report on the alleged violation of human rights in Sri Lanka by September 2015. Right? Let us move on to the next issue. Recently, a homeless man was shot dead at a Skid Row area of homeless people in the city of. There are several homeless people running into thousands. As per one estimate, there are 3,000 to 6,000 homeless people. That is the city of Los Angeles in United States of America. Please look into this picture. How the skid rows for homeless people, they will sleep on the pavements, and these homeless people in United States of America runs into few thousands, and recently a homeless man was shot dead by the police in Los Angeles city in United States of America. Right? Next one, the virus of the faith. We have already discussed last week, Mr. Avijit Roy, the blogger of Mukto Mona, was murdered in Dhaka when he was coming from Dhaka Book Fair, and the virus of the faith was written by Avijit Roy. The virus of the faith was written by Avijit Roy. Let us move on to the next question. Core sector industries. The industries which are essential for growth of any manufacturing sector are known as core sector industries, and the total weightage of core sector industries in the index of industrial production is approximately 38%. That means the core sector, these 8 industries constitute total 38% weight in the total industrial production in the country, and these core sector industry growth recently came down to 1.8%, which is the lowest in the past 13 months. Please remember, core sector industries: crude oil, natural gas, petroleum refinery products, coal and cement, steel, fertilizers and electricity. These 8 are backbone for any economy. That's why they are called core sector industries. So every month the growth of core sector industries is released separately so as to have an eye on the progress of manufacturing sector. Please look into the next question. SI2. SI is nothing but the solar impulse. Solar Impulse 2 is the solar powered aircraft. We are going to discuss in detail about this in the lecture part of the 11th week. Right? SI2 means Solar Impulse 2, that is solar powered aircraft, which was recently landed in Ahmedabad airport. Right? Look into the next question. The word JAM Trinity was coined to achieve. We have already discussed this in detail in budget part 2, and I would like to tell you once again, JAM means Jan Dhan Yojana bank account, Aadhaar number and mobile number, and by having this trinity, leakages in subsidies can be plugged. leakages in subsidies can be plugged. That is most important point. And the second most important point is the benefit can reach their bank accounts. That is direct benefit transfer. That means the beneficiary will get the subsidy directly into his bank account, into his or her bank account, so that middleman's role and leakages will be reduced. So that's why government intends to implement this JAM Trinity, Jan Dhan Yojana, Aadhaar number and mobile number to each and every citizen of this country. So this is to ensure direct benefit transfer, which ultimately results in reduction in the leakages in subsidies. Look into the next one, release of separatist leader. When Mr. Mufti Mohammad Sayeed came to power, that is coalition government, he ordered the release of Mr. Masrat Alam, separatist leader, who was in the jail for more than 4 years, and his release triggered strong protest from Bharatiya Janata Party. Please look into the next question. Which of the following completed 50 years of its existence? Vishwa Hindu Parishad, which was established in the year 1964, recently completed 50 years of its existence, which started with the concept of Hindu nationalism and Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitaha. This is the main concept of Vishwa Hindu Parishad, was started in the year 1964 with Delhi as the headquarters. And coming back to the other organizations, Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh was started in the year 1925 with Hindu nationalism as the main plank, with headquarters in Nagpur. Then next one is Azad Hind Fauj, started in the year 1942, and All India Muslim League was started in the year 1906 with Lucknow as the base. So these are the organizations which emanated during the 20th century. Please don't forget. Look into the next issue. Name the airport which was closed for 4 days. The airport was closed for 4 days after a Turkish Airline A330 veered off the runway. It has gone out of the runway due to the fog, and 224 passengers were on board. Nothing happened to any of the passengers, but because the aircraft veered off the runway, it took 4 days to restore the aircraft. This is nothing but Kathmandu Airport in Nepal. Right, friends? Look into the next question. Recently, Sri Lanka temporarily suspended the construction of $1.34 billion port project in Colombo. When Mr. Rajapaksa was the president of Sri Lanka, he leaned towards China. Two things happened. One was Colombo port project of $1.34 billion was given to the Chinese firm. The second one is he permitted Chinese submarines to dock in the harbors of Sri Lanka. Chinese submarines to dock in the harbor of Sri Lanka. So these two decisions were taken by Rajapaksa government. Now after the Maitripala Sirisena government came to power, it appears that they are having second opinion about these two decisions. First one is they temporarily halted the construction of this port project for 2 weeks, and second thing is they disallowed the docking of Chinese submarines in Sri Lanka waters. These two decisions were reviewed by the new Sri Lankan government. I would like to tell you once again, Mr. Rajapaksa tilted towards China, and Mr. Maitripala Sirisena would like to maintain a balance between India and China when it comes to the territorial waters, when it comes to the economic and other relations. Right? Look into the next question. Fishermen's issue. figured mostly during the discussion of the External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj with her counterpart and with the Prime Minister in Sri Lanka. That is the contentious issue. Many times Indian fishermen are caught by Sri Lanka because they are entering into their waters. This is the issue for several years. Recently, Sushma Swaraj, when she visited Sri Lanka, discussed this fishermen's issue. So, with the neighboring countries, if you want to list out the issues, the issue with the Pakistanis, most of the times firing across line of control, and the contentious issue of Kashmir, which India claims its sovereignty over Kashmir, but Pakistan sees Kashmir the other way around. And when it comes to Bangladesh, I have already told you, Teesta river waters and land boundary agreement, these two with Bangladesh, fishermen's issue with the Sri Lanka, right? Look into the next one. Name the state which banned cow or bullock slaughter. Recently, Maharashtra government banned cow or bullock slaughter. This bill was passed long back. Recently, President signed it. Now, Maharashtra banned cow or bullock slaughter. There is divergent opinion about this issue, right? Let us look into the next one. Which of the following topped the sales of smartphones during October-December 14? For the first time, please remember, Apple overcame Samsung. Previously, Samsung was the leader in smartphones. Now, for the first time in the quarter of October-December 2014, Apple became the market leader. So, Apple overcame Samsung, though marginally. Now, Apple, the topmost seller of smartphones as per the sales report between October-December 2014. Next one. Landmark Grosvenor House Hotel has been put up for sale in London. This is a landmark hotel. This is Grosvenor Hotel or Grosvenor House Hotel, was owned by Subrata Roy, and this hotel was put up for sale because to get the bail application, Sahara India Parivar is required to deposit rupees 10,000 crore, for which it put up for sale the landmark Grosvenor House Hotel in London, right? Sun Pharma recently announced. Sun Pharma is the largest pharmaceutical company in India, and its founder chairman Dilip Shanghvi, as per the Forbes revised estimate, became the richest Indian, surpassing Mukesh Ambani. And Sun Pharma is going to purchase opiates business of GSK. What is GSK? This is GlaxoSmithKline, based in London, and its opiates business is going to be purchased by Sun Pharma, and this opiates business of GSK, Sun Pharma is going to purchase in Australia, right? Look into the next question. Mumbai Mudrak Sangh recently has given Lifetime Achievement Award to Gautam Pai. Gautam Pai is the promoter and managing director of Manipal Group. Please don't forget, Gautam Pai is the promoter and managing director of Manipal Group. Look into the next question. Recently, amendment was passed to the motion thanking President. I have already told you, during the start of the budget session, President addresses both the houses of Parliament together. It is normally customary to pass the resolution, that is motion thanking the President. That is the customary thing. But in Rajya Sabha, BJP is in minority, other parties are in majority. That's why an amendment was moved in Rajya Sabha for the motion thanking President, and that amendment was passed because BJP was in minority. That amendment was passed in Rajya Sabha by 118 to 58 votes, and such instances normally occur very rarely, and this is the fourth such instance in Parliament. fourth such incidence in Parliament. Because in Rajya Sabha, BJP is in minority, Congress and other parties are in majority, right? Telecom group Telenor. Telenor belongs to Norway, having headquartered in Oslo. Please remember, India's Uninor is the subsidiary of Telenor. India's Uninor, you all know about Uninor, and Uninor is the subsidiary of Telenor. Telenor is based in Oslo. Please don't forget, Vodafone is based in London. Next one. RBI on 4th March reduced the repo rate because as the inflation is in control, RBI on 4th March reduced the repo rate. I have already told you, repo rate is the rate which gives a signal to the market about the interest rates, and repo rate was reduced from 7.75% to 7.5%. Now repo rate is 7.5%. Please remember, repo rate is the interest at which banks are required to pay to Reserve Bank of India when they are borrowing money for shorter duration. Repo rate is 7.5%, reverse repo rate is 6.5%, bank rate is 8.5%. Bank rate is for longer duration. When banks are borrowing for longer duration from RBI, they have to pay 8.5%. For shorter duration, they have to pay 7.5%, which is popularly known as repo rate. Look into the next question. Recently, Bharat-Nepal Maitri Bus Seva. Bharat-Nepal Maitri Bus Seva was flagged off by the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav between Varanasi and Kathmandu. Mr. Akhilesh Yadav, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, flagged off this bus. This is known as Bharat-Nepal Maitri Bus Seva between Varanasi and Kathmandu. Right? With this, we will conclude first part. Please do join for second part. Have a nice day. Thank you.